the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission: to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before.
Hailing frequencies open, and welcome to Star Trek Discoverage, the live podcast that boldly goes into excruciating detail about this week's episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I'm your host, Caliban, aka Aaron Coker, and the Gorn mostly come at night. Mostly. Joining me on the show, as usual, is my co-host. She's also the co-host of the Generations Geek podcast, a more or less family-friendly celebration of geekdom. It's Ella Pearson. Ella, welcome back to Discoverage.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. It's good to be here. How you doing?
Good. I'm doing, as well as can be expected.
Yeah.
It's a little tense climate in America.
Yeah, I would say so. I have this pet theory about the themes being explored on Trek, and forced birth is a theme in this episode. So maybe they planned it that way. Great timing, guys. I wanted to point out, of course, the Gorn appear again in this episode, and I came prepared. Check this out. Oh, how do I show this? Yeah, it's my Gorn shirt, so I'm ready to go. I don't know if we'll explore the religious, it is the religious themes, but the social themes too much. But strange days in America.
Yeah. I've just been, sometimes everyone else is here and I'm down here. I'm like, when am I going to go to Goodwill?
Yeah.
When do I get to go to Trader Joe's? Why are cherries so expensive? And I stay there.
Yeah, right. And then other times it's a little more heightened.
Yeah.
And so, that sort of thing is on our minds, but I don't treat Trek as escapism, but I do like the fact that Thursday nights I get to watch, a new episode of Star Trek, and then I get to talk about it with people, especially you. So at least we've got that.
Yeah, we can at least look forward to how many more days of Trek?
So that's the thing, and we can talk about that now, I guess. We don't actually know, do we? Of course, there'll be one more episode of Strange New Worlds next week, and then there is... I'm expecting an announcement either tonight, on the Ready Room, which I don't watch. I'm doing this.
We're here.
Yeah,
this is more
right.
important.
Yeah, this is way more important.
Yeah.
Either an announcement tonight or, next Thursday. But other than that, we don't know. We know that we've got another 10 episodes of Prodigy somewhere in the pipe. And we've got new seasons of, Discovery, of Picard, of Lower Decks, but nothing coming.
It would have to be Prodigy, wouldn't it? Because wasn't what we saw like the part 1 of the season?
Yeah, but there hasn't been any official announcement.
So you think they're going to announce
that I know
today? Yeah.
Yeah, either today or next week, probably. So
that'd be weird. I don't want a break. I feel like at the beginning I was like, this is too much, and now I'm like, this is every Thursday.
I've gotten used to it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I do every Thursday, and I would like, a semblance of routine.
And it's a good routine. But who knows? Like you said, I think it's almost definitely going to be Prodigy. We'll see. So, But I'll tell you what we have seen. We have seen the 9th episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. It's an episode called All Those Who Wander, and we're here to talk all about it. But first, as always, a warning, listeners, we're setting a course for the spoiler zone. If you haven't seen the episode, we're about to spoil it. The official synopsis for All Those Who Wander is the U.S. Enterprise crew comes to face-to-face with their demons and scary monsters, too, when their landing party is stranded on a barren planet with a ravenous enemy. This episode was written by Davey Perez and directed by Christopher J. Byrne, and the stardate for the episode is 2510.6. I mentioned before we start that I believe this is a reference to... Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe Ella can help me with this. This sounds like a reference to Tolkien, All Those Who Wander, from Fellowship of the Ring, the poem,
like not all those who wander are lost.
Yeah, all that is gold does not glitter. All those who wander are lost.
Yeah, that'd be a good fit for Uhura. I feel like,
which is it's in reference to Aragorn, I believe, in Fellowship. But so I'm not sure if they're doing a nerd on nerd illusion there.
Yeah, a little.
Be willing September. To go for that. Yeah, right. And of course, Tolkien himself was alluding to. Probably Shakespeare, The Merchant of Venice, all that glisters is not gold.
That I don't know.
We have a couple new characters making their appearance, their first appearance and last appearance on this episode. Jessica,
I knew. Did you know?
Jessica Dedeker plays Cadet Chia, and Ted Kellogg appears as Ensign and later Lieutenant Duke. So R.I.P. to both of them.
The second they were like Ensign Duke, and I was like Ensign, and they were like Lieutenant. I was like, he's dead. That is a dead man. That is a dead man right there. And then when he and the cadet went down with them, I was like, are they really going to kill both of them?
I didn't initially think that. It's very telling too that neither of them were wearing red shirts, so I think they did that on purpose to try to throw us off a little.
Somebody else is wearing a red shirt.
That is true, and we will talk about that when we get to it. But I suppose we'll just start with saying, what did you think about All Those Who Wander?
I liked it. I thought it was very fun. I would have written Spock's lines differently in this episode. Let's put it that way.
Do tell.
I just was feeling a little like, it's just like cringing a little bit. And like when he was like, oh, the rage that isn't within me, I release it into my heart. And then he screamed. I was like, okay, it like, and I said to my roommate, I sent her this like tweet that was like the fear is the mind killer thing from Doom, but it was like cringe. So it was like, I must not cringe. Cringe is the mind killer. And so when he and Chapel were talking, I was like, Hannah, I must not cringe. Like cringing is the mind killer. However, pretty much every episode to date, when Spock and Chapel have a scene like that, I have to like physically get up and walk away from the television. And watch from the other corner of the room, just like thinking about everything that happens, like thinking about how he throws that soup at her.
Yeah, right.
In TOS, I like can't handle it.
That's interesting.
But I did enjoy the episode.
Oh, boy, here's the problem with retconning, going back and sort of it's not even retconning. It's just backfilling a history between characters. You have a very basic, simple idea. A emotionally reserved person, a feeling person who is attracted to them, and then an exchange where he can't control his feelings and he throws a bowl of soup at her. That's like fine, right? But it's like at the way that they leave it at the end of this episode, are they setting up like a situation where she's going to become kind of like his rage outlet, or the person who sees him when he is like that? And it's like, that's not healthy. Like, we're taking something that was kind of simple, and like making like, oh boy. Because like, as he walks away, she's like, I love that yelling, violent man. Who's like, oh God, that's not good. So, the entire story is not written yet, but this first chapter is like kind of becoming a dark chapter.
You like hit the nail on the head, because I was like, especially when he was like, do not. First of all, I was like, okay, Kylo.
And he grabs her arm.
Like, let's calm down. Yeah, that scared me.
Yeah.
I was like, because he was like, do not follow me. And she was like, Spock, come here,
Yeah.
And then he grabbed her arm. That scared me.
Yeah, I mean, benefit of the doubt, it's Star Trek. I'm sure it'll be okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine, but I was like,
I
may love Spock, but I never trust a man. With peace and love, respectfully, I trust you. But with peace and love, in general.
Okay. Yeah.
Even Spock.
Yeah.
I don't know the man personally. I don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah. He's getting real quiet. He's chanting to himself. I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
When he was staring at her during the funeral, I was like, keep your eyes to yourself.
Yeah.
What are you looking at her for?
So that's interesting. I didn't know.
You need to take a deep breath and play some Animal Crossing.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Plant some trees or cut down some trees or whatever you do in Animal Crossing.
Yeah. Like, just go to Animal Crossing. Fuel all your rage. I release my rage from my mind and I let it into Animal Crossing.
I will let the fishing flow through me, and that way I will. Yeah. I think I know how people are going to feel about this. I think people are going to love this one. I don't know if you've been on the internet at all in the last 7 days, but there's been a lot of. Eventually, I just started not blocking, but just muting people. People are either the Princess Castle episode so bad, or people like, why do people say the Princess Castle episode so bad? And I'm just like, 30 days, 30 days, 30 days. They're all in jail. I don't want to hear about it. Let's just go on. But I think like a lot of people are going to.
You're all in jail.
People are really going to like this one, I think. And I thought that it was extremely well made. I thought that it was very well directed and it was well acted. And I think the concept, although we'll talk about, I know where some of the ideas behind the concept come from. I thought it was well executed. But for me, it brought up that sort of conversation I like to have with myself and anybody who can't get away, which is like, what is Star Trek? Like what do we think of when we think of a Star Trek story? Obviously, it can encompass a lot of things, but is it alien or aliens? Is it that we're scared of aliens? Is it that we're shooting guns and screaming at things? And especially when you think about the first Gorn story and like what it's about. It's about seeing something that's scary and realizing that it's just like you. And I think that's a good thing to have. And every single time, I was just thinking about the Star Trek video game where it was based on the 2009 movie, and one of the bad guys is the Gorn, and they have that silly, William Shatner commercial where he's fighting the Gorn guy. But it's just like modern Star Trek keeps wanting to. It's like they're looking at their past and they're not going like, "Oh, the Horta, no kill eye." Instead, they're like dinosaur creatures. Like what are the scary things?
Dude, the Horta, that was a good episode.
Right. If a Horta shows up in season 2 and like melts Lon or something like that, I'm going to be really mad. But so like it's fine to like do a horror story. And again, we've talked about how they've elided over all these different genres and they've done that really well. But like this was never going to be like my favorite episode. I think it's well done, but at the end of it, I was like, all right. And then we can just.
I agree with you like 100%. I'm like, I well done. I had a good time watching it. I did have to stand up and walk away from the screen sometimes when Spock was talking.
Yeah.
Little bit much, Bessie. Put it back. Take the rage. Put it back in the little box and lock it again.
Yeah.
But I did really like it. There was lots of like, I don't watch very many horror movies or anything either. I feel like I watch more now, but so I was laying there and I had like a sleeping cat on my lap and I kept going and like grabbing the cat.
Save the cat. Yeah.
I know that, gut instinct.
So let's, I don't know, let's just kind of go beat by beat through it. I did feel like, when you get the previously on and they touch on like 8 characters, you're like, oh, a chicken's coming home to roost in this one.
I knew it was going to be bad.
Yeah.
I get so, again, not to with the Spock and Chapel thing, but every time they have one of those clips of Spock and Chapel of Spock being like, was that weird? What happened on the bridge? That felt weird.
Yes, that was strange.
I was like, oh no.
Yeah, but I thought that they did a good job. I think they showed that they have found a pretty good balance between the story of the week and also continuing to tell and track these stories. So the way that it sort of culminates is with, Uhura as the POV character this week and her finishing her...
it seems like we've been focusing on her a lot. Yeah,
finishing her cadet cruise, whether it's, it's 8 weeks or whatever she does. It makes sense. This is week 8. And trying to figure out where she's going to go. I like the little throwback to, I don't know if your dad saw the episode, but they talk about K7. We don't see K7, but they talk about K7. So that's fun. And then starting off with Pike's Big Brunch. Come on, everybody, have some croissants have some eggs.
When he's cooking.
I don't know. How does he make all that food? He must have a yeoman.
He's a good chef.
Yeah, I've never seen a yeoman to help him.
He's a good chef.
Yeah.
I was cracking up because sometimes, when like somebody who doesn't watch Star Trek says something that's like, and you're like, that's a very good point. So I went down a little rabbit hole with my roommate because she was like, because I texted her and I said, Spock is in an apron. This is not a drill. So she came to, look respectfully. And she was like, how come there's not a robot that does the dishes? And I was like, huh. And then we went down a whole thing with that.
Good point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was like, you know what? That was a good question.
We don't, because it's not the Flintstones. The robot's like, it's a living. No,
I said it was because usually when they eat, I thought that Pike must have special like dinnerware in his cabin since he likes to cook so much. I thought that maybe other people don't cook as much. They don't have plates. They just put the thing back in the jupe,
Yeah. And also, I think the idea, at least my interpretation, is that, it's in a world where you only, the only work you have to, in a world where you don't have to work. The only work you have to do is work that you enjoy and that you're good at. You don't have to, you don't spend 10 hours going to work, working and coming home, and then you have to do the dishes after you cook. So
I did catch myself with Uhura being like, imagine going through all of that and then thinking that you're just going to go do something else. And I was like, oh, she probably didn't pay for it. What's the tuition to Starfleet Academy?
Yeah,
a heart of gold?
So right, exactly. I had one, please. I had a question about that because it seems like, and don't get me wrong, like she's already here, right? She made it. She's proven herself. She's warm. The crew loves her. But Pike's like, hey, you want this job? You let me know. And it's like, is it up to her? Aren't there like a million people behind her who would like take that job in a second? And before we were talking,
but Pike wants her.
That's true. But before we were kind of talking, it was more a question of like, people weren't looking down on her, but she was sort of frustrated with herself that she felt like a dilettante because she wasn't sure if she wanted this job. And then,
that was definitely a weird moment when she was like, I guess I came to Starfleet, to do whatever.
And Spock's like, don't, people here like love
that was
working
crazy.
here,
that was a crazy scene. Yeah, he was like, you need to like lock that down.
So he
was right to
their
say that.
solution to that was, my boss killed himself, and so now I have to take the job. Like what? That was intense.
It was very intense, and I was a little surprised because I was like,
yeah.
Besides Spock, he's like the only alien on our like crew. It was fun to have like somebody different. I really liked his character.
Yeah.
Even though I did think that it was scary to see all those prosthetics in person at Mission Chicago.
Yeah.
I did not like looking at him in person. I felt a little afraid. And I also thought that there was going to be something that they were going to like, that there was going to be a fix, but I guess like,
well, I could come up with a million sci-fi fixes right now, but this is what they decided to do.
I thought it was going to be something about Andoria and the cold, and like he goes outside and they come out of him, but the cold, it's so cold his blood coagulates, whatever, because it's like Andoria, he's working at blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then they take him back in. They give him the jupe.
He's got antifreeze for blood. Yeah, what's the problem?
He loses the Andorian version of like his like half a liver or like a kidney or something. They're like, but you still work.
His antenna get frostbit or something.
Oh yeah,
it's too cold because he's like, oh, it's so cold. You guys live in caves where it's warm, so but let's not sci-fi that.
I really related to him when he was like, it's just like Andoria when that cold wind was blowing and it's like 95 degrees in Minnesota today. I was I wish it was the winter time.
Yeah. So what do you think? Like, do you think that let's just, we're there already. Like, do you think that he is gone for good? And we've got, and I should add, so obviously he departed. We've got
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, right. Lon is leaving the ship, and Spock is, Spock is a little different. Maybe we're saying goodbye to the Spock that we know right now. So, what do you think that these changes are going to persist? Is this just sort of leading up to some kind of season finale? Like, is this how the show is going to evolve?
As I was watching it today, I was like, so next week is the season finale.
Yeah.
So let's say, not to play devil's advocate.
Go for it.
But let's say if they were going to transition into something resembling the original series, which I don't think they would do this early on.
Yeah.
But if they were going to, we're kind of losing the like extra crew members that would need to be gone to make the Enterprise look more like what we're used to in TOS.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I really don't think they would do that in the second season because I feel like the show is really good. and people wanted this show for a long time, and Anson and Ethan are really good, and the whole cast is really good. So I can't see them like, that would seem like just like such a colossal fumble.
Yeah, or at least counterproductive.
I mean, it can't happen. Yeah. Because then I feel like they would, like, it would be like a death sentence for the show.
Well, we already know
how
that
I would initially feel.
There's a gold-shirted, mustacheless Kirk, in screenshots
somewhere
of season 2. So that your theory holds a lot of water, I think.
But maybe he just visits his brother. I don't know. It's so weird because, like, I guess I would have to look closer at the timeline, because then it's the whole thing of like, was Bones on the Enterprise before Kirk got there? Like, who was there? Who got there last?
I would
say
say
Dusty Kirk because he zipped through the academy.
Yeah, I would say probably no, because they had been, Actually, I mean, do we really, outside of the very good books that are in the extended universe, I don't think that we have. The only origin story we have for their friendship is 2009, which is an alternate universe.
Yeah, call a friend, dial a friend.
But they seem like they know each other, right? So,
Bob
like
Greenberger.
Yeah. Kirk gets the Enterprise, and he's like, "Oh, Bones has got to be my doctor." Like, I assume that's when he comes on. But here's the thing that I want to say is that I don't care. I don't care about canon. I don't care about any of that stuff. I just want it to be good. And I liked this episode up until Hemmer died for a really dumb reason. And the reason might have been, like you're saying, that they are trying to now cleave towards canon. And I'm like, you guys run for 8 years, and it's like MASH. Did the Korean War go for 13 years? That doesn't make any sense. But
that is a really good point.
But I just want to make it good. You know what I mean? And then we can all work it. We can work the canon out later, and don't make decisions like we got to get rid of this character. No, we don't know if that's what they did or not. But
I also think that a lot of the like canon stuff, like I like what they've been doing so far, where they're treading a little lightly. They're edging their toes over the line. And if that, and I think it's really good because, like, I also don't care. Like, the thing with the gore, and I feel like people are mad, and it's like, get a grip. Like, have you seen the show? It's fantastic. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
There's an entire...
I wouldn't want them to, like, do something crazy and, like, have, like, Kirk on the ship, like, before he's supposed to be on the ship, or, like, something. I wouldn't want them to, like, go wild with canon like that.
Yeah.
But I think you have a really good point about, like, how long was the Korean War, and MASH was like 13 seasons.
Yeah. I was just thinking, something that nobody's brought up, and I think it's sexist, is why didn't Uhura go visit Pike during the menagerie? Spock is going to do this whole thing where he brings him to Talos 4, and Kirk's like, I met him once at a function or whatever. But like Uhura,
at a cocktail party.
he's her space dad, So like maybe in the
but that is that new? Like, is that canon before this show?
No, that's what I'm people want to do retroactive. It's all retroactive. Yeah. So like if they have a scene in the final episode of the show after has face blown off, where Uhura's just like, I can't go visit him. You know what I mean? It's like, it's too tough. It's too tough to see him. That's the kind of thing, like, fix it later. That's what I'm saying. Just fix it.
Well, and it's like, there's always, because like nobody's relationships stay the same for like ever, you know what I mean? Like, there's 1,000 reasons why Uhura wouldn't go, or why Spock would go instead. Like, there's so many reasons why. It just, like, I agree with you. Like, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. That being said, though, there are a lot of fun nods to continuity, and this like felt like a TOS episode in a lot of ways, other than the blood smeared everywhere. I like the fact that there's a Constellation or a Constitution class ship that's crashed on this planet, and so we send the entire senior staff. So it's just like literally everybody's there except for number one.
Yeah.
And
she's at home in charge.
And she's got a mission to do too. So now you've inconvenienced 2 missions. You've split the party completely. But that's just so Star Trek. What did you think about the violence?
I was a little surprised. I didn't really mind it because it also is like not overly gory, like
Gorny.
Like, some of the some of the episodes of The Walking Dead, they're like doing like these violent stunts and like gore to like do the stunts and the gore. Yeah. I still love The Walking Dead, very good show, but it felt very different in that like they were doing like a horror episode.
Yeah,
they were, as you it referenced earlier, they were doing Alien.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was totally fine. I don't know. Do you feel like, what did you think? Do you feel like people are going to be like, too much blood, too much gore for Star Trek?
Now that, well, I mean, now that we've got Prodigy, I still think that like mainstream Star Trek. Look, here's the deal: we should have like an R-rated Star Trek show. We should probably have a PG show. We should have a PG-13 show. Let's hit all the quadrants.
Listen.
But now that there is Prodigy, I think you could do, stuff like this. But there were parts where like the things are exploding onto people's bodies, and it's like, whoa,
that was that was crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's like shades of, they're doing all the, they're doing Alien, they're doing Predator, did Terminator at the end where she hasta la vista babies the guy, which I thought was really kind of interesting. And Aliens, Terminator, and Predator all have a Cameron connection. What's the Predator connection for Cameron? Cameron helped design the look of the Predator. Because they had this goofy...
I didn't even think about that.
If you know the story of Predator, the first time that they tried to shoot it, the movie kind of fell apart. And they ended up redesigning the Predator, and Stan Winston, of course, legendary Stan Winston, did it. And this crazy story, he was on a plane flying somewhere, and James Cameron was sitting next to him, and he was working on it. And James Cameron's like, hey, what are you working on? Oh, it's for this thing. And he's like, give him like mandibles and dreadlocks. And Stan Winston's like, it's so crazy it might work. So apparently he had input into the design of the Predator.
That's bonkers.
Yeah.
Do you know something? I've never seen Predator.
You've never seen Predator?
No.
It's pretty good. It's
the way you said that, I don't know.
It's weird to recommend now because so many things have ripped it off, and the whole like like screaming because you're gonna fight this. You're scared, but you're gonna fight this thing. That's Predator. So that's
I see
the whole thing. I'm kind of interested in this new Predator spinoff that's going to come out called Prey, where it's like it's set. I think it's set in Earth's past, and the Predator comes, and there's like a Native American tribe, and there's this woman who's like part of the tribe, and she has to like find the guts to fight this Predator. That seems kind of interesting to me. But almost every Predator spinoff has been a bad. The first one's good. The rest aren't very good.
Interesting.
And the thing about the Terminator is that it doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear, and it absolutely will not stop
unless it lets it into its heart.
Yes, or until it fills you with babies. So it's either the Gorn or the Supreme Court. There, we did it. We brought the politics back.
Woo! Oh man!
Did you get like some Ripley vibes from Lon? Lon's kind of our Ripley. She's the survivor in this case.
Yeah, not too much. I mean, she definitely knew more. I guess thinking about like aliens, maybe. Yeah. I was thinking more about the first Alien just because of I love in Alien, and even in I'll say it, in the prequels, the like shock and horror and confusion among the characters when they see the thing come out for the first time.
Yeah.
Stunning. So I was really only thinking about Alien because I was like, haha, they have no idea.
Yeah.
They don't know what's going on.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Great point. Not going to take a crap on it, but I'm going to bolster one of my earlier points, which is the alien characters live in a universe where they don't see aliens, and also they're just at work, their lives suck. They have these horrible jobs.
It is like the kind of the opposite of Star Trek. It's like they're like in the Bezos factory in the sky.
Yeah. So I'm not saying that like Nurse Chapel seeing little baby lizards explode out of somebody is cool, but like they've never seen anything like this before. Do you know what I mean? Like, shouldn't they? Isn't there a protocol for this? I know this is earlier days of Starfleet, but like right away they're all completely horrified, and I guess the sensors don't work, so that's a thing. And then Lon's like, we kill them all, and it's like, you guys are on a journey of discovery.
I was shocked,
right?
I mean, I feel like this has been pretty.
Can't you put him in the transporter? Like, you've got space now. The guy's daughter's gone.
Oh, you just stock it. Just put him in the folder.
Hammer's
like,
in the
do
pajamas.
Not open another
He's like,
folder.
let me read you the story. Yeah, right.
Do not open another folder. Really, don't open this.
Yeah, they're just full of tax files. Don't open this folder. Yeah.
many life forms in the universe, though, like in the Star Trek, like how many aliens really would actually like incubate and hatch like that? You know,
Well,
maybe they have never seen it before. Maybe they're not prepped for that. I feel like you, even if somebody tells you, hey, maybe this will happen someday, like we know the theory.
Yeah.
But if my roommate was like, I don't feel very well today, and something came out of her.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But you are not a future genius. You're a present genius,
As far as you know.
That's true. Who has been through years of like military and medical training, and so
for all you know, I stepped on the butterfly, and that's why we're here right now.
That's true. Yeah. I wish you hadn't done that. Do you hear that thunder?
I wish that every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like it's just like, and also they don't live in a universe where they live in a universe where only Paramount movies exist, so they haven't seen Alien.
Exactly.
But I just like it's like the difference between like you said, the Bezos universe and like the Star Trek universe. And again, it's fine. You can expand. Star Trek can hold so many different kind of stories, but think about how many stories they just kill the aliens at the end. There aren't a lot. Like there's Obsession where Kirk just, we got to kill the Cloud. We don't really care. Or like Jack the Ripper or Armus in TNG. Like he's just a bad guy. There's nothing we can do about it.
I mean, this is very like us or them,
Yeah. And I hope
like it's like they would die.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the little babies, they're not thinking about like peace between all nations and aliens. They're just going to eat your face.
No, they're thinking chomp. Yeah.
So I'm hoping that this is like the first chapter of a longer.
It's just like my cat when he sees a crumble cookie. You got to fight them off.
Okay.
My cat ate crumble cookies.
Really? Okay.
He's okay. He's okay.
All right.
But
I want some cookies.
If he was 4 pounds lighter, I think that he would have been having his stomach pumped. But that's besides the point.
And so I just like I understand that this is the first act of a longer story, hopefully with the Gorn. But at the same time, I'm not sure that it can be because we know that Kirk meets the Gorn and they're not, what we want. So, maybe there's some kind of discovery thing where like, the third act of this ongoing story is, Pike and the Enterprise get into a war with the Gorn, but they make friends and the Gorn go, just don't tell anybody about us. And Pike's like, I'll do that, And so then later on, Kirk can meet the Gorn and go, I don't know who these, guys are. Again, who cares? It's canon. Never mind. Canon's a trap for the just and the unjust. What do you think about Hemmer knowing what human blood smells like? I smell human blood. You should be worried when somebody says that. It doesn't matter how good their nose is.
I guess I didn't think about it. I was kind of like, he can smell that far? Like, I was like, huh? Like, what are they, Andorians? They're like,
Are they, what are they descended from?
A Marvel superhero? Like, what? They're like Asgardian?
Oh.
Every sense is heightened?
Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, like he's like a daredevil. He's like,
yeah.
Type A? Yeah. It's a little weird. So anyway, yeah, the Gorn are really tough and scary now. Forget the fact.
Here's the answer. It's because humans are stinky. How T'Pol is like, you guys smell.
Yeah. I thought that was just her being racist. I didn't know. She's like, I have to take these drops because you guys smell so bad. Yeah.
Vulcan Flonase with the stickers just like for interacting with humans.
Little Vulcan Antonio Banderas B telling you they got to take this spray. Yeah, so anyway, the Gorn are scary, despite the fact that a Canadian actor beat them up over 50 years ago.
Pretty intense episode.
But we're going to go with that, yeah.
Scared the pants off me when I was a kid.
I love the fact that they have that funeral at the end. They're only ever talking about Hemmer. It's like, oh, we're going to miss him.
I was like, why are we doing the
other
triple
two
funeral?
Chimmy?
No bodies.
Chi-Chi.
Wait, did they have the 2 bodies of the Chia?
What was her name? Yeah. And, Ensign, Ensign Duke. We're going to miss Ensign Duke.
And 5 postmortem drip. Pour one out.
Everybody's secretly glad they don't have to buy his drinks now. Yeah.
Everyone's like, nice.
Clear those accounts. Yeah. Anything else that you had to say about the story?
I don't know. I had a good time. I like a little bit, in an episode. I like a little, like we're doing like a mystery. We're doing the time loop thing.
Yeah.
I love a little bit, and I feel like our little bit today was the horror alien predator situation.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed myself, even though, Spock was embarrassing me.
When he had that like shock stick though, that was pretty cool.
That was cool. I was like, look at him go. Also one of my roommates walked in doing that, and I was like, look at him go. And she was like, okay.
That's my guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of depressing. There's a way that I expect Trek to. Well, let me explain. When a fun new character throws himself off a cliff, to save everybody, it's depressing.
I thought there was a real second where I was like, oh, we're doing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We're doing the first season Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Like bit where she jumps off the plane and then they save her. Like I was like, are they going to grab him? No one's going to grab him?
Nobody grabbed him. Yeah. And there's a way that you expect.
I think he's gone.
Yeah. I
feel like earlier you were asking me a question that sort of led up to, is he gone?
Maybe he's got a brother or something, but.
And I think he's gone. I'll tell you why. It's because of how do I describe this?
With words.
The biblical frame of watching him fall through that beam of sunlight.
Oh.
The Renaissance painting.
Yeah.
Imagery.
Too good to reverse.
Yeah, that's a dead man. Yeah.
He just disappeared after he left the frame.
Yeah,
there is no body. It's over. Yeah.
He's done.
Yeah. There's like there's a way that a Star Trek episode can kind of depress you. You can plug a kid into an electric chair. That sort of thing.
That episode was crazy.
You can leave a planet totally ruined and have to fly away. Like, oh boy, that's sad. But like having a character just go,
too bad.
Oh, there's nothing we can do, and everybody goes, well, I guess there's nothing we can do, and then he just throws himself off a cliff. It's like, oh boy, that is depressing. So, I don't know.
I did like the scene though, because I liked how La'an was the only one in there with him, and that La'an's gonna let him go. She's like, I know right. That the zombie bit you, and everybody else is behind those locked doors, and they're like, let us in. Right.
Yeah.
That was good. It was a good bit.
Maybe a stronger choice to have her throw him out. Or is there no getting over that?
That might have been too much. Yeah. I mean, knowing her lineage.
Because they did that. They did that with Ariam in Discovery, right?
I think so.
Ariam was rebooting, and she's like, "You got to get rid of me." And then Michael didn't do it. And then who did?
I think I've only seen that episode one time.
Yeah,
I'm like
too.
blanking, but you're right.
What's her name, right? The blonde one who used to be Ariam. Did she do it?
Wait, no, because she, right?
I think so.
Huh.
And nobody ever that's the girl that killed Ariam. It's like, yeah, I mean, obviously, what had to be done had to be done. But
I'm sure she got some shifty looks in the dining hall.
Yeah. But that would have been
like, oh my
that would have
God,
been that would have been a thing for her character. And in another kind of complaint, and we're trying to move out of everything here, but like another complaint of the episode is. So La'an is obviously the right person. She is the Ripley for this situation, but how does she feel about it? Like, how does she grow? What changes? And they even start, I don't know if this is like a nod to like development, but she comes in from her like mental health day, right? She comes in, I had to talk to the counselor and I hate having time off for mental health days. And you seem like, okay, so she's dealing with it, I guess, but then does confronting it bring it up again for her, or has she found new strength? Like, what are we tracking here? And I didn't feel like we were really tracking much. So to have her either make progress, but then immediately be confronted again by the Gorn and like make this decision where she has to shoot hammer out of a torpedo tube to save everybody. I don't know, that would have been a stronger choice.
Yeah. Enough trauma in one episode, I say.
Yeah,
there was enough. We had enough going on.
Yeah, for Ensign Duke, we'll never forget him. Well, anyway, and the other one. That's it for our show, I think, this week. Thanks for joining us, listeners. If you like what you hear, you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at EISTPOD for updates and to get notified when new episodes of both Enterprising Individuals and this show, Discoverage, are released. You can tweet to us on the show by using the hashtag Discoverage or email us at EISTPOD@gmail.com. Also, while you're on the internet, head to your listening platform of choice and subscribe to the show. Give us a rating and a review if you would, because it really does help us out. And if you like the show, please tell a friend. We will be back for the 10th and final episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds first season on July 7th, again at 8 p.m. Central. So join us then. We'll be here to cover it next Thursday. We don't know anything about the episode other than it's the finale, so we'll see what happens. We'll be going live at 8 p.m. Central. You can follow us on Twitter or Facebook at EISTPOD to get notified when we are live and broadcasting. In the meantime, why not join us on our main show, Enterprising Individuals? You can find that at enterprisingindividuals.com. Every week on the show, I and a special guest discuss in excruciating detail a selected film from the Star Trek franchise. We also have news from the Trek sphere and interviews with special guests. We're actually, it's not every week. We are dark this week, but our episode from last week is still available, where I'm joined by New York Times and USA Today bestselling author Catherine M. Valenti to talk about Star Trek VI. And you can find that episode at enterprisingindividuals.com or wherever you get your podcasts. And I wanted to mention that we have a new episode of my other podcast, Backtrekking. Backtrekking is the podcast where Gooey Fame and I discuss in excruciating detail the inspirations behind your favorite episodes of Star Trek. And this week we are talking about the Star Trek The Next Generation episode, Yesterday's Enterprise, and a cult sci-fi film called The Final Countdown. It's a time-traveling adventure. What do you get if you remove Tom Cruise, Kenny Loggins, and homoerotic subtext from Top Gun? You get The Final Countdown. So you can find that episode.
A worse movie.
Well, we'll see. It's got Kirk Douglas in it, so put that back in a little bit. You can find Backtrekking on Twitter at @BacktrekKing or wherever you get your podcasts. Ella, thanks as always for joining me to talk about Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Tell the people where they can find you online.
Thank you. I usually post a lot more on Star Trek Unlimited. I haven't been because I had COVID and I had trips before that.
Yeah.
So I'm back on my feet, and I would like to come back to the Star Trek Unlimited social media with a vengeance. So everyone should follow us and subscribe to our email list. Trek Unlimited on Twitter and Star Trek Unlimited everywhere else, I believe. And I'll also be in a couple of, I think just 2 weeks now, a week and a half, I'll be in Baltimore for Shore Leave.
Awesome. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So back on your feet and back on the feed. And follow Ella to get updates.
And COVID can't catch me anymore. My doctor said I got 4 to 6 months of immunity. So I'm coming. Right. I'm coming to Shore Leave, mask off, not the whole time.
You've got the Mario star for the next 4 to 6 months.
Exactly.
So follow Ella there. You can follow me on Twitter at KA1IBAN. You can catch all the shows on our network at @JustEnoughTrope on Twitter. And that is it for us. We are signing off. And until next week, this is Aaron for Ella saying, live long and prosper.